So the Trump administration is trying to get rid of wokeness in some of the exhibits at the Smithsonian and add some more positive exhibits that highlight the incredible accomplishments that have been achieved by this country and American citizens. And so, of course, the Democrats, particularly the usual suspects, are very upset that this is going to be sweeping slavery under the rug because that's all they obsess about is slavery and hate America. And so most affected by it is Joy Reid, formerly of MSNBC, whose show was canceled earlier this year, now just appearing on any old podcast that will listen to her, where now she's saying this.
They can't fix the history they did. Their ancestors made this country into a slave hell. But they can clean it up now because they got the Smithsonian. They can get rid of all the slavery stuff. They got PragerU that can lie about the history to the children. They can't originally invent anything more than they ever were able to invent good music. We black folk gave y'all country music, hip hop, R&B, jazz, rock and roll. They couldn't even invent that, but they have to call a white man the king. Because they couldn't make rock and roll. So they have to stamp the king on a man whose main song was stolen from an overweight black woman.
Joy Reid has apparently been taking history lessons from this guy.
Like you go into the African drum language, which just white boys stole it and called it the Morse code. Mm-hmm. They took that same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it the telephone. Mm-hmm. They took the same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it a computer, which is nothing but an African drum. Mm-hmm. But if you don't attach people to the computer, you don't see it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we stole the idea for the computer from the Africans beating on their drums. You guys know I don't sugarcoat things, and hopefully I'm one of the most politically incorrect commentators on the planet. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again because more people need to say this in response to idiocy from people like Joy Reid about how terrible slavery was. Black people living in America today should be thankful for slavery. Slavery was fantastic for them because without it, most likely they would have been born in Africa, possibly growing up in a dirt hut, not even owning any shoes, not having any running water in their house, not having any of the incredible modern conveniences that we all take for granted in America today. I mean, they don't even have to work here. They could just get on welfare and Section 8 housing and have as many kids as they want to that are paid for by U.S. taxpayers who actually work. Now, of course, slavery was terrible. Case in point, it resulted in Joy Reid being born here, but you get my point. Stay tuned because there's plenty more to come in this video, but real quick, subscribe to my channel if you're new here because, well, I don't need to tell you why. You already know why. Joy Reid's old employer, MSNBC, is soon going to be a thing of the past. Don't get your hopes up too high because they're still going to be on the air. They are changing their name because there's been a big corporate conglomerate merger, and so the parent company doesn't want MSNBC to be associated with the NBC or NBC News brand because that's how worthless it is. That's what trash MSNBC is. And so they've announced this week that they're going to be changing the name to MS Now, which stands for My Source News Opinion World. Coming up next on MS Now, more liberal lunacy. This is the worst rebrand since Elon Musk rebranded Twitter into X, which still like 75% of people in America, even those who are addicted to it and use it every day, still call it Twitter, still call the posts tweets. X is just the dumbest name. It would be like if Kleenex rebranded to something else, but I give it maybe a year before the corporate conglomerate just sells off the entire channel to someone else and does a deal with one of these kind of boomer broadcast networks, Scripps Broadcast or TND. There's a couple news networks that are only broadcast only, and so they might then try their hand at getting into the cable business because this is the dumbest name for a news network ever. Of course, all of their hosts have to pretend that this is a brilliant move and just fantastic. Here is Joe Scarborough turning up his fake excitement to an 11.
All right, we have breaking news as it pertains to our network. This morning, a new name for the network by the end of the year. we will become MS Now, which stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. And look, Andrew, they even have a graphic up. I like it.
There it is.
Actually,
the new logo.
It looks very sporty. As we go to Versant, we're going to...
Is he being sarcastic, or is he just pretending that this is a great move? I can't tell. Rachel Maddow, the face of what is soon to be formerly MSNBC, insists that it's going to be better.
In terms of the practical impact of it, it's been all kind of upside so far.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hiring. What other news organization is hiring tons of reporters and correspondents and editors? And
they have to, because they no longer have access to the NBC News affiliates. Hey, I heard Jim Acosta is looking for a job because his YouTube channel is struggling to get 10,000 viewers on his shows. Or maybe Jake Taborn will jump ship and leave CNN for MS Now because he is the most miserable man in media.
Let's go back to Jake in Anchorage. Jake?
I'm fine. Just give me my show back.
Show's back.
All right, here we go. So let's go now to Senator Schiff, who we have here. Senator Schiff is joining me. Ready to go.
Why? Who cares? I think he was upset because CNN basically preempted his show for live coverage of President Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin. And while the Democrats and the liberal media claim that President Trump idolizes Vladimir Putin because he wants to be a dictator too, this is an actual op-ed published in the New York Times this week. Abolish the Senate, end the Electoral College, pack the court. Why the left can't win without a new constitution, meaning with the Constitution, they obviously want to destroy the Constitution, something that they've been, overtly trying to do for the last 8 years. Which is why the new rising star in the Democrat Party is Zohran Mamdani, the communist who is running for mayor of New York City.
What are your thoughts on Zohran Mamdani?
I think he's one of the most exciting people in American politics, bar none. The joy with which he ran his campaign, he just looked genuinely excited to be with the people that he wanted to serve, and so often turning the microphone over to them. I mean, when's the last time a politician willingly gave up a microphone to somebody else who wanted to speak? But I think he sought to listen to and learn from those who he wanted to lead in New York, and he presented these really bold, clearly defined solutions to their problems.
Oh, he sure did. He is a literal communist.
My platform is that every single person should have housing. And I think faced with these two options, the system has hundreds of thousands of people unhoused, right? For what?
Because those people are mentally ill, because they have drug problems. And the reason why housing prices are so high in America, in part, aside from the Federal Reserve, the private banking cartel creating money out of nothing and causing inflation, is there are tens of millions of illegal aliens living here who shouldn't be here, who are being paid for and having their room and board paid for by American taxpayers.
If there was any system that could guarantee each person housing, whether you call it the abolition of private property or you call it, just a statewide housing guarantee, it is preferable to what is going on right now.
The abolition of private property. That is literally one of the tenets in the Communist Manifesto. Oh, and speaking of the illegal alien problem, President Trump has come up with a very unique tactic in order to try to prevent people from climbing the border wall. There was some border wall that was put up during his first administration before the Democrats sued and then cut funding and stopped him from getting workaround funding. And so some of the wall was put up, but unfortunately, some of the criminal invaders can scale that wall. And so he came up with this idea.
Remember that a nation without borders is no nation at all. And we're so thankful that we have a president that understands that and understands that a secure border is important to our country's future. Now, if you look at the structure that's behind me, it's tall, which makes it very, very difficult to climb, almost impossible. It also goes deep into the ground, which would make it very difficult, if not impossible, to dig under. And today, we are also going to be painting it black. That is specifically at the request of the president, who understands that in the hot temperatures down here, when something is painted black, it gets even warmer, and it will make it even harder for people to climb. So we are going to be painting the entire southern border wall black to make sure that we encourage individuals to not come into our country illegally, to not break our federal laws, but
now, the steel beams were looking a little rusty as well, so maybe this is actually twofold to prevent it from rusting. But we all know that blacktop, anything black, absorbs that sun and gets extremely hot. It remains to be seen whether or not they'll be able to wear gloves and still climb it. Maybe they won't be able to grip it as well as they can with bare hands. But just the fact that this is upsetting the Democrats even more, I'm for it. I'm also for setting up alligator Alcatraz detention centers in every major city in this country and rounding up the 30+ million illegal aliens and their anchor babies and deporting them. And of course, I do sell the alligator Alcatraz shirt from my online store at markdice.com. So head on over there, click the link in the description below, and check it out.